Do you know this game? I'll give you 10 seconds. This is Exit 8.
That's not good.
Pretty easy to guess because YouTube loved this game. Millions of views. But players, Steam charts will tell us 2,000. Not too bad, but I guess most of them found the exit. 8. Now, you probably see where this is going. Let's check Roblox up. One thing that this Roblox game has over the original indie game is multiplayer. Sorry buddy, we're out of space, but your name will be in our hearts forever. Our goal is to use our eyes and our brain to recognize anomalies, which the game is very vague about. I thought this was an anomaly because the text says to keep left, but the arrow says to go right. But how do you deal with adding multiplayer to a single player game? You have to vote, of course. Someone wasn't voting properly and we waited for a whole minute before the game let us go. In fairness, the looks are great, but the game was pretty easy. I got the good ending on my first try given that they were basically rushing to get this out. It barely has any of the anomalies that I would consider subtle. It's really obvious something is wrong. Who would just go, oh, red mics. Looks normal to me, let's go forward. No attempt to gaslight the players or give them a spook like the original. Regardless, they were pretty successful in recreating the concept. Green stream. That is some poetry. Shakespeare is shaking.
To be or not to be? That is the question.
The goal is to pretend that you're Phidias.
Please, nothing with me, not even clothes. And my goal is to travel around the world for free.
But exploring a cave instead of exploiting poor kids. After spawning, it took us a while to figure out everything. They let you customize your face, but we were clueless about the disc, the camera, everything really. I was waiting for my pro friend who knows content warning, but he was presumably sleeping, so we went in blind. We ended up in a place that looked like a 10-year-old had doodled all over it. Doesn't exactly give off creepy vibes, but we pushed through, finally facing the reality that it might be scarier than we expected. So we argued about who goes first, and finally went together. We didn't know this game at all, so the sound of the gate opening had me in tears. By our third room, we heard like a weird noise. Nothing was around, but my instincts told me to freeze, thinking it's game over. It wasn't. I mustered the courage to find our first monster. It's like a walking speaker. I can't really see it well. We decided to go home. We needed to drop the camera on this thing. And the camera disappears out of nowhere to get a disc. Who actually uses a disc nowadays when we have USB sticks and hard drives? The film though was something. "70 views for basically darkness? Wow!" The next day, something truly scary happened. I got disconnected. Finally, our content warning master showed up. The noise earlier turned out to be a spider. We followed it and now 2 of them were after us. They were really bad at being scary. My friend pointed out that these spiders should shoot some webs like Spider-Man, but not here, so I decided to explore on my own. Great idea, right? It's not exactly a Steam game, but I'm highly confident that most people who watch this on YouTube didn't bother buying the full game. The game itself is pretty simple. The first telltale sign that something is wrong is if the face looks a little weird, and I'm using little very loosely here. It's pretty obvious if you know where to look. Some clones get really sneaky by appearance. Just look at that random mole. You would think some dirt just got on your screen until you wipe it and it doesn't disappear. And checking the documents can reveal some tomfoolery. The lack of this cat sticker thing, misspelled names, ancient dates, and of course, the ID number. It is pretty simple, but it gets boring pretty fast, so I got tempted to take shortcuts, and this happened. I almost fell on the floor and wanted to end myself. So, we finally have a Russian roulette game in our hands. Russian roulette is there's a lot of math. Let's just leave it at gambling with your whole life. I have seen the game, but I've never played it. Why do you have a lot of knives? Also, that looks like a frying pan. I didn't sign up to cook today. I like that using a knife and a gun somehow deals more damage. I'm not sure how realistic this would be. After wasting most of our time trying to figure out what we are even doing, including at one point thinking that the blue shell was the live one. A brain fart moment right there. I eventually caught up to the gameplay and barely won. The second round though was giving unlucky vibes. All I'm getting is just soda. And I only got knives way later when I'm almost dying. There's a case to be made about Roblox developers just getting a game idea from somewhere on Steam or itch.io and recreating it, but it's a lot harder for indies to take stolen ideas down. Unless you're Nintendo. But it's not all doom and gloom. There are actually original game ideas that thrive in Roblox, and many of them don't exist, at least in their level, on other platforms. Could that be a future video idea?